第2のルシファーリングは遺跡を進んだ先にあることが分かった。そしてその奥では、ひたすらに力を求めて修行するケンタウロスがリングを守っている。リングによってさらに力を増したケンタウロスは、まさに恐怖だ。
Hello everyone and welcome back to Lucifer Ring. You can see that we kept our ice sword from last time, so that's a plus. There's a new enemy in this room and it's the werewolf. The werewolf is a lot like these purple guys we've been fighting, except the werewolf attacks a bit faster. It's a lot more dangerous to try using heavy attacks on the werewolf because of that. If you have trouble approaching them, you can just knock them down with a dashing attack and wail on them as soon as they get back up. They're still definitely one of the easier enemy types, but if you go through the game trying to use only heavy attack, they will give you trouble. I guess that's what they're there for, to prevent you from doing that. The elephant enemies in this room are the first really heavy enemy. They attack hard and they can stampede right over you. Even though they attack hard though, they attack really slow and it's super easy to knock them over before they can get a hit in. The most dangerous thing about them is getting distracted by other enemies and giving them a chance to charge at you from behind. The special meter fills up as we kill enemies, and it actually fills up pretty fast. It fills up just often enough for you to get through tough conflicts if you're having trouble. It's not something that you need to save just for the bosses. Platforming up here takes us through an alternate route and allows us to get the secret sword for this level. Here's the toughest enemy in the stage. He attacks more frequently than the elephant, but hits just as hard and has way more health, too. The strategy for these guys is to hit and run. The good old dashing swipe works best for that. You can pull a full combo off if you're careful enough, but the dashing swipe does plenty of damage, so there's no reason to worry about it. If you didn't have the ice sword for these fights, it might be a bit harder because you couldn't freeze all the normal enemies that tried to attack you at the same time as the statues. The most important thing is to not get the enemies in a group together. If you get hit by just a statue or just the normal enemies, that's not so bad, but if the normal enemies hit you and then the statue hits you, that's not so good. The statue's attack knocks you down, but the normal enemies don't, so they can kind of combo you. Here's that new sword we talked about, and a lot of enemies in this stage are weak to it. It also has a secondary property, but we won't talk about that yet. Welcome to the mid-boss. We want to deal with the big guy first, because he's very powerful. He attacks slow just like the elephant. And just like the elephant, if we leave him alone, he'll chew away at our health very quickly. His horse buddy is very fast, but as long as we stay far away from him, he's not a problem. His horse friend can also leap in the air and try and land on us, but you have plenty of time to react to that. And they are super, super weak to the lightning sword special attack. This is a trap room. The statues on the side shoot lasers, and we just gotta jump over them. The thing about the jumping in this game, you want to jump way before you think you should. As long as you do that, you'll be fine. The big crystal in this room won't let us move straight forward, so we have to go around, and we can either go up this platforming path and die several times, or we can go down to the bottom where there's a hidden passage. The game really likes to put a ton of things right outside your perspective. Here's another trap room, similar to the first, but with a couple twists. We can't really jump over the lasers in this one. We can eventually get over the first, but for the rest we'll have to use these pedestals that the gargoyles are on. Now, something special about the gargoyles is that, unlike other flying enemies, you can easily hit them with your regular attacks. It makes this room a whole lot easier than if you would have tried to, I don't know, jump attack all of them. Now, there's a very special reason we can hit these flying enemies with our normal melee attacks, and we'll get to that soon. This is Lars, and Lars is our special anime man rival. He has several attacks to worry about. He can send out a shockwave, he can dash right at us, he can shoot an orb, and he has a really quick regular attack as well. Now, you might notice that my sword is hitting him from unreasonably far away. If you remember, I said we would talk about the lightning sword's secondary property. If you're curious what that is, it extends your sword's reach. It extends it so much, in fact, that it's more like a mid-range gun than a close-range sword. This makes the fight with Lars insanely easy. Now, we could still use this strategy if we didn't have the lightning sword, but the lightning sword makes something up ahead much, much easier. The lightning sword might be one of my favorite pieces of design in Lucifer's Ring because this is not normally something you would think of when you think of elemental attributes. Making the lightning sword shoot little lightning sparks out to extend your sword's reach, probably not something you would think to check. It's just so cool to me because when I first got this sword I thought it was kind of useless in comparison to the ice sword, except for its elemental advantage. But then I learned about the second attribute, and it's pretty awesome. The lightning sword is all but necessary for this boss. If you have the normal sword, he pretty much leaves no opening in his pattern. But if you have the lightning sword, you can stay safely out of the range of his attacks. Using the lightning sword gives you much more time to run out of the way of his dash, much more time to get out of the way of his axe. It just makes this boss so much easier. And originally, this was definitely one of the hardest bosses in the game for me until I discovered that the lightning sword increases your range. His pattern itself is easy to memorize and it's not all that difficult. He charges into something and then he either bucks or tries to slash at you. And then he charges away again and then he shoots a giant orb. But it's not dodging his attacks that's the issue, it's trying to attack him. But yes, they reward the player big time for finding the elemental swords.